Vom Haus Audax A litter of 2017. The litter is 6 male puppies.
Good boy.
I wanted to make this video to discuss what we are looking for as a breeder. What is our ethos, our philosophy in breeding and training dogs, and what are we aiming to provide in an Audax puppy? Let's start with what Audax means. Audax is a certain type of courage. Audax is a boldness, a disregard of self, a forwardness, an audacity. And that is what we're looking for in the dogs that we breed and what we're trying to produce in every litter. This is Amadeus Vom Haus Audax. We kept him for a couple months. This obedience session is from about the time that the rest of the litter went home, within a week or so. And I wanted to include this so that you get a sense of this dog early on, what we're trying to foster in him as far as his personality, and how we raise our puppies. Just really simple. We're not even introducing verbal commands here other than yes, no, good markers. Introducing him to the touchpad, which we find is a foundational piece of equipment that we build a lot of behaviors around. And this is probably his first introduction to it. So he's a little bit unsure of it, but that's okay. Now we will fast forward. Amadeus is now 7.5 months old. We've done a number of play sessions with him without any stick pressure, without any control, just building him up. And this is his first session, which is a group bite session Saturday morning. His first session where we introduce any pressure and any control. We also give him his first sleeve bite in this session. His owner, Cherie, is working on obedience with us as well as developing him for bite sports.
Good boy. So there's no problem with drive here and desire to bite, and stick pressure means nothing to this dog. Awesome. Okay, so I'm not hitting him with the stick, I'm just touching him, letting him know it's a thing we're going to be doing. He should not be afraid of it.
Behind your back.
I love this dog. Where he's at, it's just perfect for where we're going. If you can back. Nope. He's like, I'll bite anything, I don't care. All right, so hold your red leash.
I've backed up a lot farther here than maybe most helpers would do. And that's for a purpose. I'm about to introduce him to some stick pressure and a crack of the whip, and I don't want him to associate it too early with the bite. Notice the seriousness that came out there. I've dropped the stick on purpose because I want him to come in and solve that pressure with a bite. I don't want to chase him off of it. Now, the noise he's making in the bite. I don't love that. And so what I'm doing is I'm making sure that he quiets in that bite before I give him a win. This is a dog. He and his mother both are very gratified by possession of the equipment. And so before I give him that gratification, I'm trying to get him to settle in, firmly grip, and quiet. Here, I'm going to tease him over it a little bit. See if stick pressure discourages him. It does not. Backed up again. And notice the seriousness comes out again. And he's right onto the equipment with a firm grip.
Good boy.
Now I'm making noise as we go here, and I'm doing that to kind of overact what we're doing. I want him to feel like he's defeating me as I grunt and groan, that's on purpose. He's not actually defeating me.
Is he blinking? Is he nervous in front of me? No blinks. Not nervous, he wants it, right? And throw it back. So normally, throwing the equipment back is not something we want to do. Don't kick it back. It'll build more focus here. He's already got a lot.
I allowed that throw back to happen simply because she'd already taken it from him and had it up. So throwing it back on the ground was only going to refocus him on it.
Yes.
Now I'm running away from him to get him out of that seriousness just a little bit, back into prey.
Come grab his leash, please.
And I'm running back also to absorb his energy. He's not jumping yet. And so I want to make sure that as he's still in kind of an awkward puppy phase, as he develops this, that he's not getting jammed in the bite. And so I'm backing as he's coming to those bites, hoping to draw more speed out of him.
Nope. Amadeus, touch. Amadeus, touch. Yes.
Here we're just looking for that touchpad. As I said earlier, it's a foundational piece of obedience. It's not something, of course, that he's going to see in a trial, but it's something we can insert here, an obedience task that he knows, and then we can reward it with what he wants, which is the bite.
So watch the way he holds. He doesn't bring it straight back to me. These are signs that he's getting his gratification from possessing it. That's okay. Gratify him however he'll take gratification. But we don't want to overdo it either.
And I'm drawing a little bit of a contrast to another pup that we're working on this day. I've edited it out, all of that pup's work, so we're just focusing on Amadeus. But that pup was not possessive in the slightest, and she would get the toy and run back and punch me with it. So a very different motivation from the dogs.
That will make him not want to let go of it because it could come back alive at any moment. Okay? Yeah, go ahead and take the pinch collar off. We'll do this all motivationally. It's fine. He's like, oh, I did a down before, and that made him come alive. I'll try that. That's good. That's.
Amadeus, touch. Touch. Touch.
It's an obedience thing. Do some obedience,
Amadeus,
get
touch.
the reward.
Amadeus, touch. Nope. Touch. Amadeus,
Good guard.
touch. Yes, good boy.
That's yes.
We'll be working on building his strike as we go here. But for now, we're just happy in the bites. Notice he's still pretty noisy here. We'll accept that for now.
No, this one.
We got another pup in the background barking. That's not him barking into the wedge.
Good.
The other pup's getting excited seeing this work too.
Now, neutralization. We talked about this in class. All the body language that I do right now is to neutralize him to movement. Because when in trial the decoy comes on the field, it'll look like this. And right here, that's where he gets activated. Grab his leash, please.
Just quieting him again.
Good boy.
And then he gets the win and the possession from a quiet bite.
The very beginning of teaching him line of departure. Hold the down until pass. Now, this is his first sleeve bite. It's a little different for a dog. So we're going to watch again for a little bit of stress. Does he blink? Does he bite it and let go? All of that stuff. So I'd like you to bring him out and we'll tease him a little bit right here.
All he's doing there, he's guarding the wedge that he'd already won. It looked like he was like hesitant to come out, but really he's just standing over his prize.
Hold.
And here, this is important. Handlers, if you're supposed to be holding your dog, please hold them. Your helper doesn't want to get bit early.
Good boy.
no problem biting the sleeve.
Yeah.
Some dogs
When
on
I
their
crack
first
that
sleeve
whip,
bites,
it
they
goes from fun
don't. They think
playtime
that's your
to-
arm, and they don't want to do it.
I'm serious. I like that.
Here we go for number 2. Just quieting the bite.
Hold it down.
As he warms up, it's a warm morning, and as he warms up, I'm not holding these bites as long because I don't want to wear him out in that.
He's getting how this game works. He's got to let it go to get me to come get it and restart. He's not holding it as long when it's dead. Okay, have him do it down. Be loose on the leash, just let it go. Good boy, come get the leash back.
Here I'm giving him his first stick pressure or whip cracks and touches while he's in the bite. It made him think for a second he was going to lose that sleeve, and so he fought really hard, and I really actually liked the amount of effort he put into that fight.
So, ready?
He was really yanking on me. And his grip was solid. I'm watching that leash for any slack. Does he ever back off? No. It is constantly tight. He is forward. And that's when I will come in for him. If I see that leash start to get slack, I definitely will not advance. I do not want to push him backwards. This is not his nature. He's a very forward dog. But any dog, if I see that leash, that line come slack, I retreat.
Nope. Plot.
There's a little handler mistake there. That's okay. We'll work through it.
Just walking out towards me.
What happened there, my stick was actually on the way up, and you heard the whip crack right after. He responded perfectly, but the handler marked no. Here, I don't even have the equipment. Still forward. Good focus. He's a little low, and we'll work him up towards my face. Right now the pressure's coming from the stick, which I was holding low, so his focus is where the pressure is coming from. That stick seems to be a good on switch for his serious big boy bark, so.
Calm down.
Plot.
Now we're going to insert the obedience again.
Amadeus, plot. Plot.
Notice there's no collar pressure here. There's a little bit of help on his back to remind him what plats means when he's in this excited state. But that was inducive, not compulsive.
Good.
This dog's only 7 months old. Okay, have him down.
Amadeus, plot. Amadeus, plot. Plot.
His excitement has not faded through this session. This is about a 1 hour group class, and he worked for a solid 15 or 16 minutes here. And that's just the parts where he's actually in the bite or in obedience. I cut out virtually everything else. Here I'm going to do some neutralization. And this is non-reinforcement for him breaking his down. There's no punishment here other than denial of his reward, the bite.
Nope. Plot. Nope. Plot.
Oh, come on. You got to jump higher, buddy.
So he's come up under the sleeve there, and I took this as my first opportunity to out him. It was a bad bite. It's not a good grip. He's just on his front teeth, so we're not going to reward it. Now there's too much tension on the leash here, which will correct. Tell her to relax.
Say no.
No. No.
Okay, so like this.
Out! Yes! Good.
And we'll reward the out with an immediate rebite.
All right, got it.
Gotta mean it a little bit,
Well,
because he
Harley,
means it in the bite.
I tell Harley, and she's like, okay.
Well, think about this, he's young.
Yeah.
And right now, he's got all this motivation, and we haven't outed him a whole bunch. So, when we out, we need immediate rebite to reinforce this out. And it's not right now, so like I need the out. Okay, well, you out it. You got rewarded. Now we're in reward. There we go. Now he wants to restart.
Fine. Good. Fine.
A little bit more neutralization.
Plots. Plots. Amadeus, plots.
Practice my chicken dance.
Amadeus, plots. Good. Nope. Plots. Plots. Good. Slide. Slide.
There was a good grip.
Latches up.
This sleeve has no barrel in it, so I can feel, absolutely, I can feel on the forearm how hard he's gripping. When he gets that sleeve buried into his molars, I know it. Much quieter bite here.
Boy. Oh, I think a boy.
And gratifying with possession.
Boy.
Hope you've enjoyed Amadeus Vom Haus Audax bite session and some of his puppy videos. The Vom Haus Audax bee litter is currently available for deposit. The puppies have been born and we have several females available. If you're interested in a puppy or coming out to train obedience or protection work with us, please reach out to us through our website, www.audaxcanine.com. Thank you very much for watching.